In a world where conformity often reigns, most people are under the illusion that they are unique, when in reality they are simply following the same patterns as everyone else. We live in a society that places immense pressure on us to fit in, to adhere to the standards and expectations laid out by those around us. From a young age, we are conditioned to follow the crowd, to follow trends and to blend in rather than stand out. We are taught that success is measured by our ability to conform, whether it's to societal norms, to a specific career path, or to what is considered acceptable behavior. But this is just an illusion, a trap that keeps us from discovering who we truly are. The test of uniqueness is not about doing something radically different or standing out in a flashy way. It's not about the superficial markers of distinction, such as what you wear, the car you drive, or the job you hold. Instead, it's about daring to embrace the person you truly are, beneath all the layers of societal conditioning. This is where the real challenge lies. The true test of uniqueness is found not in the rejection of everything around you, but in the courage to fully accept your authentic self, even when that means standing against the grain of societal expectations. So often we get caught in the cycle of comparison, constantly measuring our worth against others. We look at what they have, how they live, and we try to mirror their lives because we believe that's what will make us stand out. But in reality, all we're doing is falling into the trap of conformity, following in the footsteps of those who are also merely trying to fit in. True uniqueness isn't about mimicking someone else's path. It's about discovering the strength to walk your own, regardless of where it may lead, and finding peace in that journey. When we are conditioned to fit in, it becomes difficult to even recognize the parts of ourselves that are truly unique. We stop listening to our inner voice, the one that tells us what we really want, what excites us, and what we truly value. Instead, we listen to the voices around us, voices that tell us what's right, what's normal, and what's acceptable. But in doing so, we begin to lose touch with who we are at our core. The greatest challenge we face today is not external, it's internal. It's the ability to silence the noise around us, to block out the expectations, and to look inward, to see ourselves for who we truly are. We each have our own set of dreams, desires, and passions, but it takes courage to pursue them when they don't always align with the path that society has laid out for us. It's far easier to blend in, to follow the patterns, to do what everyone else is doing. But that's not where greatness lies. Greatness lies in the willingness to step outside of those boundaries, to say no to the pressure to conform, and to say yes to the call of your authentic self. The test is not about doing something radically different. It's about embracing the person you are, even if that means standing alone at times. So dare to try this simple test. Look inside, find your truth, and live it boldly. That's where true uniqueness lies, and that's where your real strength and potential will be found. What truly makes you unique isn't talent, intelligence, or wealth, though these are often the qualities society celebrates. True uniqueness comes from something far deeper. It lies in the way you think, act, and believe. These internal characteristics shape the way you experience the world and ultimately the way the world experiences you. When we start looking at uniqueness through this lens, we begin to see that it's not about external markers of success. It's not about fitting into a mold that others have set for us. Instead, it's about how we engage with life and the willingness to be unapologetically ourselves, regardless of what others think. Unique individuals are those who are willing to question the status quo. They don't blindly accept the rules that have been laid before them just because that's the way things have always been done. They have an innate curiosity that drives them to ask why things are the way they are. and whether there's a better way, a more authentic way to do things. Their minds are open to new ideas, new possibilities, and they never settle for what is merely acceptable or convenient. They are always exploring, always seeking new perspectives, and are not afraid to challenge the norms when something doesn't align with their truth. It's this willingness to explore and push boundaries, whether in their personal lives, their careers, or their passions, that sets them apart from the rest. Being truly unique requires a level of courage that goes beyond just taking risks. It's about taking risks in areas that matter, areas that are often overlooked by those who are simply trying to fit in. Unique individuals challenge themselves to fit critically, to see beyond the surface and to trust their instincts, even when it means going against the grain. They are not swayed by what others say is possible or impossible. Instead, they are driven by a desire to discover their own path, one that is not shaped by others' limitations, but by their own potential. One of the most profound ways unique individuals differentiate themselves is through their rejection of the need for validation. Society has conditioned us to seek approval from others, to measure our worth by how much recognition or praise we receive. But for those who are truly unique, external validation is irrelevant. They don't base their worth on the approval of others. Instead, they seek something far more important: truth. They seek the truth about who they are, what they want, and what they stand for. This pursuit of truth is the core of their uniqueness, because it's a pursuit that cannot be faked, cannot be imitated, and cannot be dictated by anyone other than themselves. Unique individuals understand that truth is often uncomfortable. It requires honesty, vulnerability, and the courage to face aspects of themselves that others might not see. But it is in this raw authenticity that they find their power. They are not interested in fitting into someone else's mold of what success looks like. They are interested in defining success on their own terms, and their definition is grounded in authenticity and integrity. This is why they often blaze trails where others follow. They create their own standards, set their own rules, and move in directions that others may fear to follow. So when you think about what makes you unique, remember it's not about talent, intelligence, or wealth. These are temporary markers of success. What truly makes you stand out is your mindset, the way you think, act, and believe. It's the courage to ask difficult questions, to challenge the boundaries of what's possible, and to stay true to your own path, no matter where it may lead. And in a world where so many are content with simply fitting in, those who dare to seek truth and authenticity will always be the ones who shine the brightest. Now, let's engage in a simple yet powerful test, one that can reveal whether you are truly living as your authentic self, or if you've merely become a reflection of what society expects from you. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself this question. If you had no fear, no limits, and no expectations from others, who would you be? Pause for a second and let that sink in. Who would you be if you weren't bound by the opinions of others? If the weight of societal pressure didn't dictate your choices? If the fear of failure and judgment didn't hold you back? Imagine a life where you could act, think, and create without any restrictions, without any concerns about what others might say or think. Who would you truly be in that space? What dreams would you chase? What passions would you pursue? And what would your life look like? The answer to this question holds incredible power because it reveals the truth about whether or not you're living authentically. If your response to this question aligns with the life you are currently living, then you're on the right path, embracing your true self. But if your answer feels distant from your present reality, if there's a gap between who you are when all limitations are removed and who you are now, then it's time to reflect on why that is. The truth is, most of us are not living fully as our authentic selves. Instead, we have conformed to what others expect of us, whether it's our parents, our peers, our colleagues, or society at large. We've internalized these expectations and shaped ourselves to fit them. But the most powerful, fulfilling life comes from stepping outside of those limits and discovering who we are when all those external pressures are removed. This is the essence of living authentically. Think about it. When was the last time you did something simply because it felt true to who you are, without worrying about how it would be received by others? When was the last time you made a decision based on your own desires rather than on the expectations or judgments of people around you? Most of us can go through an entire day, week, or even year without ever truly answering to ourselves. Instead, we follow the scripts that have been handed to us. But this simple test, asking yourself who you would be without fear, without limits, offers you the opportunity to realign with your true self. It provides a moment of clarity, allowing you to see whether you are living in alignment with your inner truth or whether you've been living as a version of yourself shaped by outside forces. The answer to this question is your truth, and it's an answer that only you can discover. It's not about what others would do or what they would expect of you. It's about peeling away the layers of conditioning and discovering what's left when you remove all the noise. If your answer to this question feels liberating, exciting, and full of possibility, then you know you're on the right path. But if it brings up feelings of discomfort, fear, or doubt, then perhaps it's time to take a deeper look at the choices you've been making and ask yourself why you've been living in a way that doesn't truly reflect who you are at your core. The answers you uncover in this test are not about judgment. They are about self-awareness. They are about acknowledging the gap between the person you are today and the person you could be if you fully embraced your authentic self. So I ask you again, if you had no fear, no limits, and no expectations from others, who would you be? The answer to this question is the first step toward living a life that is true to you. It's the beginning of breaking free from societal norms and embracing the full power of your uniqueness. It's a challenge to not just exist in this world, but to live boldly, authentically, and unapologetically as the person you are meant to be. Daring to be different is where true uniqueness is born. It takes immense courage to stand apart from the crowd, to embrace the path less traveled, and to break away from the safety of conformity. Society often celebrates those who blend in, those who follow the rules and live by the expectations that have been set for them. But the reality is, the world doesn't remember those who conform. The world remembers those who dare, those who have the courage to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to challenge the status quo. True uniqueness requires a willingness to stand alone. It means choosing a path that may not always be easy, a path that might even be lonely at times, but it is your path. And in the face of that loneliness, in the face of doubt and uncertainty, you must still be willing to continue forward. Because the road less traveled is the road where innovation, greatness, and breakthroughs are born. It's where new ideas are cultivated, where new possibilities are realized, and where progress is made. The journey of uniqueness is not without failure. In fact, failure is an essential part of the process. To dare to be different means you will inevitably encounter setbacks, challenges, and moments when things don't go as planned. But true uniqueness is not about avoiding failure. It's about having the courage to face it, learn from it, and try again. It's about rising each time you fall, refusing to let setbacks define you, and pushing forward with even more determination. Consider the innovators and trailblazers throughout history, those who have made the most profound impacts on our world. They didn't get there by following the crowd. They didn't reach their breakthroughs by adhering to the safe and predictable. They reached their greatness because they dared to think differently, to reject what was considered normal, and to explore uncharted territories. They were willing to fail, to struggle, and to be misunderstood. And through that, they ultimately changed the world. Think about the great inventors, artists, and thinkers, those who have transformed industries, shifted cultural paradigms, or advanced human understanding. People like Albert Einstein, who dared to challenge the prevailing theories of physics. Steve Jobs, who rejected the limitations of technology and created an entirely new kind of device. Or even artists like Picasso, who redefined the world of art by refusing to conform to traditional standards. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't follow the rules. They didn't worry about the approval of others. They dared to be different, and in doing so, they left an indelible mark on the world. This is the power of daring to be different. It's not about standing out for the sake of it. It's about embracing your true self, trusting your instincts, and having the courage to take risks, even when it feels uncomfortable. The world doesn't need more copies of what already exists. It needs individuals who dare to push boundaries, question assumptions, and explore new frontiers. It needs those who are willing to fail, to try again, and to ultimately succeed in ways that no one could have predicted. So when you face the choice to conform or to dare, remember that the greatest achievements in history have come from those who dared to be different. If you want to leave your own unique legacy, if you want to make an impact that goes beyond the ordinary, you must be willing to stand alone at times, to fail, and to rise again. True greatness is not about following the crowd. It's about rejecting the norm and daring to forge your own path. And in doing so, you'll not only find your true self, but you'll also have the chance to change the world in ways you never thought possible. Now comes the challenge. It's time to step into your authenticity. This is where the true transformation begins. When you have the courage to reflect on who you really are and then act on that truth. It's one thing to ask yourself deep introspective questions about your passions, values, and desires, but it's quite another to take those answers and turn them into real, tangible actions in your life. This is where the power lies. You have to act on your truth, no matter how small the steps may seem at first. Because small steps, when taken consistently, lead to massive change. Start by reflecting on what truly excites you, what makes you feel alive, what stirs your soul and fuels your spirit. These are your passions, the things that call to you, often regardless of how practical or achievable they may seem. It's easy to get caught in the trap of shoulds and musts. The expectations placed on you by society, by your family, or by your peers. What would you do if there were no limits, no judgments, no fear? What would you pursue if you could follow your heart without hesitation? When you take the time to reflect on these questions, what you discover are the keys to your authenticity. These are the things that define you at your core. They are the driving forces behind the life you were meant to live. But knowing them is only half the battle. The real challenge is in taking action. It's not enough to simply acknowledge your passions or values. It's about living them, breathing them, and embodying them every single day. The first step can feel daunting. The idea of stepping into the unknown, of doing something that feels risky or uncomfortable, can create doubt and fear. But here's the truth. Even the smallest step forward is progress. Maybe it's deciding to start a project that excites you, even if you don't know how it will turn out. Maybe it's having the courage to speak up about something you believe in, even if it challenges the status quo. Whatever it is, know that every step, no matter how small, is moving you closer to the life that is truly yours. The beauty of this journey is that it doesn't require a giant leap of faith all at once. It's the cumulative effect of small actions that create momentum. Over time, these small steps build confidence, clarity, and courage. And before you know it, you look back and realize how far you've come. The key is to keep moving forward even when the path is uncertain, and trust that each decision is taking you closer to living authentically. And here's something crucial to remember. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It doesn't need another person who conforms to a mold set by others. What the world needs is you. Your unique perspective, your distinct talents, your unfiltered voice. It needs the person who dares to live authentically, unapologetically, and boldly. When you step into your authenticity, you give the world a gift that only you can offer. Your true self is what the world needs most, because it's the only thing that will create the change, the innovation, and the impact that you are capable of. So, take the test. Reflect on your passions, values, and desires. Then act on them. Even if it's just one small step today, it's one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. The journey toward authenticity is ongoing, but each moment spent embracing your true self is a moment that changes the world, starting with your own. As we reach the final thought of this journey, I want you to reflect on something powerful. You are 1 in 8 billion. Just think about that for a moment. Out of the vast expanse of humanity, you are a unique, irreplaceable individual. There is no one else in the world exactly like you. No one has the same combination of thoughts, experiences, dreams, or potential. You are a singular being in a world of billions. And that alone makes you extraordinary. But there's a real question that follows this profound truth. Will you dare to act like it? You see, it's one thing to know you're unique. It's another thing entirely to live as if you truly understand that you are. To act like it means embracing the responsibility that comes with your individuality. It means taking ownership of your life, your choices, and your path. It means fully stepping into the greatness that lies within you, no matter how unconventional or misunderstood it may be. The question is, are you going to live as just another face in the crowd? Will you follow the well-worn path that society has laid out for you, simply going through the motions, doing what is expected of you? Or will you have the courage to stand apart, to carve your own path, to dare to be the one who creates change, who follows your passions, and who lives with unapologetic authenticity? The choice is yours. You are 1 in 8 billion, but whether you embrace your uniqueness, whether you dare to truly act like it, is entirely up to you. The world is filled with people who are merely existing. They are living out someone else's story, following someone else's plan, and playing a role that was written for them by external pressures and influences. But there is another way. There's a way to live with purpose, to live in alignment with who you truly are, to live as a creator of your own narrative. When you dare to live like the 1 in 8 billion person that you are, you stop allowing the outside world to dictate your life. You stop conforming to expectations. You begin to forge your own path, guided by your passions, values, and authentic desires. The world doesn't need more people blending in. It doesn't need more copies of what already exists. It needs you, your voice, your vision, your unique contribution. It needs the person who dares to think differently, who dares to act on their truth, and who dares to face the discomfort that comes with stepping outside the norm. This is where true greatness lies. Not in fitting in, but in standing out in the most authentic way possible. So the question remains, will you dare to act like the 1 in 8 billion person that you are? Will you embrace your uniqueness, step into your authenticity, and live in a way that is aligned with your deepest truth? You have within you everything you need to make an impact, to lead, and to create something that only you can create. It's up to you to take the first step, to have the courage to rise above the noise, and to live in full expression of your true self. The world is waiting for what only you can offer. The question is, will you dare to show up as the person you were meant to be? Will you take the leap into your authenticity and live a life that reflects the 1 in 8 billion person you truly are? It's your time. The world needs your brilliance, your originality, and your courage. Step into it. As we come to the end of this powerful journey, I want to leave you with one final thought. You are unique, you are powerful, and the world is waiting for you to step into your authenticity. Every moment is an opportunity to be the person you were always meant to be. And every step you take toward embracing your true self creates the ripple effect of change in the world around you. If this message has resonated with you, if it sparked something deep inside you, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect and act. Don't let this be just another video you watch. Let it be the catalyst that inspires you to take bold steps toward your dreams and embrace your greatness. If you believe, like I do, that the world needs more people who dare to live authentically, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs this message, and drop a comment below to let us know how you plan to step into your uniqueness. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your dreams, and your commitment to live as the 1 in 8 billion person you are. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss another video that inspires, empowers, and challenges you to live your best, most authentic life. You have the power to create the life you want. Don't wait any longer. Step into it and remember, this world needs you, not just another copy. Dare to be different. Dare to be authentic. Dare to be you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.